I think for a person that's experiencing a problem, that the greatest gift that we can give them is the gift of listening to them. And that can be really empowering. And we don't always appreciate how empowering that can be, because we tend to think, here's a person with an issue, what do I say to them? Well, maybe they're having a crisis of faith. How do I respond? Is there something that I can say? And we feel intimidated by that, and that brings feelings that make it difficult for us to move into action. So I've found personally that the best thing that I could do for anyone would be to learn how to listen, and to listen actively or compassionately. It's something that the psychologist Carl Rogers talked about, and he said it means entering the private perceptual world of the other and moving about in it cautiously, step by step, so that you actually appreciate what life is like from their point of view. And it doesn't take very much, but we don't really appreciate how we can use that and how that can be so tremendously empowering. It's actually something you can practice in everyday life, and it's basically in a face-to-face encounter. It would be maintaining eye contact, sitting squarely and openly facing the person, maybe leaning towards them a little bit, and relaxing. And I'm here to listen. I want to listen to what your story is. I don't know what your experience might be. I might be familiar with it, but I still don't know what it's like from your perspective. So tell me about it. Tell me what it's like to be you. Tell me what it's like to go through what you've gone through. Even though the experience might be identical, it's from two different perspectives. I bring my heritage, my genetic makeup. I bring all of my experiences to bear on whatever this situation might be. And I might respond totally differently to the person next to me who has the same experience. So it's not a helpful thing to say. And and I've been there too. I mean, you're so anxious to say something to the person and to reach out to them that you say something that is awkward or ill thought out and ends up putting a distance between you and them. So it's more about being open, listening to them, being non-judgmental, recognizing that we have cultural filters, we have biases, we bring judgments, and we do that in matters of religious faith as well. So our own background as Bible believers and as Christadelphians, we have certain cultural or regional differences that make an impact upon how we receive what someone's saying. So knowing ourselves better and knowing what is our cultural predisposition can help us kind of put aside those filters and to be non-judgmental in our listening. You've had a terrible experience and I don't know how to relate to that. So I could say, I really don't know what to say to you. And I don't know if anything that I could say would be of any help, but I just want you to know that I feel for you and that I pray for you. And if there's ever anything that I could do, I'm here. Please call on me. When you approach them and you say, I'm here, call on me, or here's my number, they're not going to call because they're under so much pressure they can't identify what it is that they need. But knowing them and having that relationship ahead of time and trying to build networks for people and identify resources and help people to be aware of what resources they have, I think is all valuable in that context. It's about building relationships, which we do in everyday life. We have relationships with our partners, with our families, with our children, with our neighbors, with our workmates. And listening is just being there for the person and being present and making every moment count. So that I could be sitting here and looking out of the window and being distracted and thinking about something else or where I'm going to be next and what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. I'm not giving you my full attention. But if I can make that moment valuable and give you my full attention, even in the midst of a busy life, that's possible. If we can, as believers, build better relationships with our partners, our husbands, wives, children, parents, brothers and sisters, workmates. That's going to make us a better all-around person, and that will allow us to do those things that Jesus talks about in Matthew 25 when he says, I was in prison and you came to me, I was sick and you cared for me, you visited me. And that's basically what our lives are about, and ministering and serving. And even though it sounds like a daunting task, it's something that it's really easily learned. Even though it sounds to you like this is a full-time job and maybe this is something that's beyond me, and I neglect these things because of what I do. We all do that, but we can all learn to be better. We can learn to be there for each other and give us the gift of our presence to other people. There are also things that we can do as a community. We can raise awareness about mental health issues, which we don't tend to do very well. And a lot of small faith communities have similar problems where mental health issues are unspoken, kind of viewed with a little bit of stigma attached, because we tend to see that as a lack of faith and that we should be able to do this all on our own, and forget that we're there because of our need and because we can't do it on our own. So, recognizing that 1 in 20 usually suffers a mental health issue at some point during their lifetime, and the statistics for struggling with addictions, struggling with all kinds of issues in the community are fairly high. We need to recognize that and maybe talk more about them. And let's learn how to deal with children who have autism spectrum disorder. Let's learn how we can reach out to them and make them part of our Sunday school. Let's learn how to talk to somebody with depression. Let's identify the common thinking mistakes that they might be making, where they see everything in terms of black and white or all or nothing, or they personalize things too much. Those things are easy to find out and accessible. So we can do that ourselves, but we can also do that as a community. And let's provide resources that can address those things, so that we not only have the Meal a Day Fund, but we can have care groups that reach out and use brothers and sisters that have expertise in different areas to address these things. And to say, from a scriptural perspective, how do I talk to somebody with depression? How do I talk to someone that's struggling with homosexuality? How do I talk to someone that's dealing with an eating disorder? And instead of hiding things away, let's uncover them, talk about them, try to bring them out into the open more and find resources to deal with them, but to do it in a way that's compassionate and loving and Christ-like. By being more of a caring community, I think we can be a witness to the world that this is what Christ's brethren are all about. And the world will know that we are his brethren by the care and the love that we show to one another. So it's very much, by your fruits you'll be known.